wonderful week. I'm really sorry I haven't got my tripod in the shop today, and I have had to sit on a cushion to raise myself up high enough, so I feel like a little girl sitting on my little chair. Anyway, yeah, I hope you all had a good week. I am wearing an old favourite today. It's the cotton and chalk Nina dress from an art gallery fabric that we had in last year. I did do a review on this pattern, so I will link it up above if anyone's interested. Today I'm going to talk to you about my top 5 favourite beginner sewing patterns. So one of the questions we get asked in the shop all the time and on email is which patterns are good for me to use if I'm just starting out sewing, what type of fabric should I use, etc. So I thought it'd be really good if I could put together a kind of top 5 recommendations of really simple, tried and tested patterns for beginners. And even if you're not a beginner, hopefully you'll find it useful, because often we all like a nice, quick and simple sew. So today I'm going to talk through the patterns, why I think they're good, some top tips, and also some fabric recommendations for them. So because I've got 5, I'm going to launch straight into it. The other question we get asked all the time is, where can I get the right fabric for my pattern? Where can I get all the supplies? What type of fabric should I use? So to go alongside this vlog, we've actually put together some dressmaking kits specifically to tie in to these patterns. So everything that I talk about today, you will actually be able to buy as a kit on our website or in the shop. So hopefully it just saves you from having to look around, find all the right things. We've taken all of the hard work out for you, which I found, especially for most beginners, is what takes up people's time, trying to find the right fabrics and making sure they match the fabrics and match the patterns, and that you've also got all of the notions and things. So our kits come like this. So they come all nicely packaged up with a lovely card on our dressmaking kits, a little bit of writing on the back there, and it just says, I won't read the whole thing, but it just says, we want it to be as easy as possible for you to sew something beautiful for your handmade wardrobe. So we've sourced the highest quality fabric, sewing notions and inspiring patterns for you to sew up. The kit ensures you have everything you need. Just add sewing machine, some tea or gin, I haven't got any of that today, your choice, and enjoy creating a handmade garment you can be proud of. I'm going to do a bit more. But that's essentially what we wanted to do. We wanted to make it really easy for you to add some handmade garments to your wardrobe. And even if you're not a beginner, it's nice to have everything all packaged up together so you know that it's all there. And we've done these kits before and they've been really popular. So I'm really pleased that we've managed to pull together some that tie in really nicely with the top 5 patterns. So I'm going to try and make sure these don't rustle too much throughout. If they do, I'll edit out the bits where it's too rustly. But the first pattern, the number 1 pattern I recommend for beginner sewers, is the Tilly and the Buttons Cleo Dungaree dress. I will pop some pictures of a couple of made up versions up here so you can see them. I recommend Tilly and the Button patterns to beginners all the time anyway, because the pattern instructions are so helpful. She has a full colour booklet inside which goes through step-by-step instructions of how to make things. Her sizing and how to measure yourself, etc. is all really clear, and she takes you through everything with photographs, so really, really good value for money. And her patterns are really nice designs. I like her style. She's got a bit of a 60s kind of modern retro feel, and the Cleo dress is our number 1 most popular pattern, both inline and in the shop. Online and in the shop. I think because it is really fashionable, so you would be bang on trend wearing a dungaree dress. You can make it out of quite a few different things, and also it is nice and simple. So the pattern's got no zips or fastenings, anything like that. It uses dungaree closures. You want to work with a woven fabric, potentially with a little bit of stretch, so something like a denim, a corduroy. You could even make it out of home furnishing fabric, something that has got a good weight to it, because if you imagine, it's going to need quite a bit of structure to hold the shape of the dungarees or the pinafore style. There are two dress options. The most popular one that I found is the shorter version, but there is a knee-length version with a split as well. I'll pop a picture up actually of a couple of versions that I've made. So I've made it in denim, and I've also actually made it in home furnishing fabric, and I've made it out of corduroy too, but I don't think I've got a picture of that. This pattern is so good for beginners. You could make 5 dungaree dresses out of 5 different fabrics and coordinate them with all your different t-shirts and tops and things underneath, and you can wear them with tights in the winter. So this one is a real winner. In the kits that we've done, so we have done some kits with, excuse the rustling, this gorgeous vivid blue denim. So this is a really nice medium weight denim with a little bit of stretch, and it is the most beautiful bright blue, which is perfect for summer. And we've also got white denim kits for these as well, so you can make yourself a little white denim. Well, now I'm holding that up against myself. I want to make something out of this. I shall have to make myself another Cleo. But yeah, if you don't use our kits, definitely look for something with a little bit of structure and a little bit of weight just to hold the shape. You also get in the kit the dungarees fastenings, the top stitching needles, your top stitching threads, and for the white denim we've done it with a nice grey top stitching thread, because I thought that's nice and neutral, so you could pair it with lots of different things. And for the vivid blue we've done it with a nice traditional like gold mustard top stitching thread. So this is a really brilliant pattern if you want to practice your sewing in straight lines, because there are lots and lots of top stitching options that you can do. So yeah, really recommend that one. That is my number one. And I'm starting today with woven patterns, and I won't go into too much detail because there are loads of videos out there telling you the difference between woven and stretch, but I'm starting with woven patterns, not necessarily because I think they are the easiest to work with, but just because that tends to be most people's preference, and then I will talk you through some jersey patterns shortly. So the next recommendation for The next recommendation for a really lovely, simple make for a beginner is the Greyline Studios Scout Tee. I love this pattern. I haven't seen it look bad on anyone. There are no darts, there are no zips, there's no fastenings, but it's a really lovely shape. It's been drafted really, really nicely. So the shape seems to suit everyone. It's got a really nice neckline. It does give you the opportunity to practice your bias binding, because you bind the neckline, doesn't have a facing. And the other great thing, although the instructions are really good in here, there's also loads of resources online on the Greyline Studios website. So there's an online sew along, online tutorials, and this again is a really, really popular beginner's pattern because it's also quite a quick make. And I think when you're starting out, you don't want to start making something that's going to take you 6 weeks to make. You want to make something where you can fairly quickly see the progress that you're making, and then trust me, you'll be hooked on sewing and dressmaking forevermore. So for the Scout Tee, they call it a tee, which I think over here we tend to think of t-shirts as stretch fabric, but it's not to be made in stretch fabric. It's to be made in a light to medium weight woven fabric. So you're looking for cottons, so you could have a cotton lawn, a cotton poplin. Just remember that the heavier weight your cotton, the more structured it's going to look. So a lot of people, when they first start sewing, would choose to use a quilting weight cotton, which is absolutely fine. It's nice and easy to work with, but it wouldn't necessarily give you the same look as maybe a lawn or a poplin would, because it wouldn't have as much movement in it. The other option is something like a lightweight denim. So we've got some beautiful 4-ounce soft wash denims that would be perfect for this, and I'll link those down below, or a linen. So we've put our kits together for this one with this really gorgeous berry coloured, it's like a really soft berry coloured cotton linen blend. It's a Robert Kaufman cotton linen, and it's such a lovely colour. It suits everybody. I know Susie's got her eye on this one, and I think it's a really, really lovely way to make yourself a really simple summer top that you can actually wear year after year after year, because the fabric is such amazing quality. I really, really love this fabric. So yeah, if you don't use the kits, as I say, I would recommend a cotton lawn, a cotton poplin, or something like a linen or a soft wash denim. And in the kits, obviously we have got the matching thread, the needles, etc., everything that you need. Now, the next and final, it's not the final woven pattern. In fact, there's only one jersey pattern that I've put in here. I'll talk about that in a second. The next pattern I'm going to recommend is the Liesl & Co. Everyday Skirt. Now, if you look on Instagram, again, I'll pop some pictures up here so you can see a couple of different versions. If you look on Instagram, the hashtag, I think, is just everyday skirt. There are so many gorgeous versions of this, and this is why I say this video isn't just for beginners, because actually it's really nice to find nice, simple, well drafted patterns that work. Because let's be honest, as I said before, we all want a pattern that we know is going to come together nicely, and yes, often you do want patterns and things that are going to challenge you and help you learn new skills, but also it's nice just to be able to make up something quickly that you know is going to be a really good wardrobe staple, and the everyday skirt is definitely that. So I've seen some gorgeous versions of this made up, and we've got a lovely soft embroidered denim, which is called Summer Stitch Denim, I think, on our website. And one of our customers made a version up of the everyday skirt in that, and it looked amazing. So again, similar to the Scout, the Scout tee that I've just talked about, you're looking for something that is a light to medium weight. So you don't want it to be too light, because remember, it's going to be a skirt, so you don't want anything that's going to be really, really sheer or too light to wear without a lining. So again, you're looking at either a really opaque cotton lawn, so you can't see through it, or cotton poplins, soft wash denims, anything like that. And by soft wash denims, I will show you what I mean, because we put them in the kit. So soft wash denims, this is a 4-ounce denim, which means it's nice and lightweight, it's really soft, it's got a really nice drape to it. It's a lovely indigo blue, and what we've tried to do with the kit is for nearly all of them, they are plain fabrics, because that way when you're first starting sewing, or even if you've been sewing for quite a long time, pretty prints are beautiful, and I love pretty prints, but it's quite nice to be able to make something, be it your first or 21st make, and have it fit within your wardrobe, so be able to be worn with lots of other things. So all of the, or nearly all of the kits we've gone for in quite neutral shades, because then that way you can mix and match, and I think that's a really nice way to be able to put your me-made things with your ready-to-wear stuff, because when you first start sewing, you've got loads of ready-to-wear, and then you go out and you make loads of skirts and tops and things in really bold patterned quilt and cotton, and then you don't necessarily have anything to match them with, so they don't get worn as much as they could. So we've gone for the neutral option for these kits. So Yeah, this is a soft wash denim. We've also included the elastic, the interfacing, the needles, the cotton, etc. that you need. And this is really great because it's a really lovely shape. It's an A-line, but it's not too sort of overtly A-line. The shape isn't too retro. You've got really nice pockets on the front there as well. Who doesn't love pockets? And there are no zips or fastenings again. It's just got a elasticated back waist. So the waist at the front is flat, which is really flattering. But the waist at the back is elasticated slightly so that you can get it on and off, and then it's just got a bit of light gathers. But yeah, so soft wash denim, a light to medium weight cotton, nothing that's going to show your knickers, so it's not see-through, and just look for something with a bit of drape. I wouldn't make it out of a viscose unless you are comfortable sewing already, just because viscose can be a little bit slippery, and you're better off starting with something that is easier to work with. So that is the Liesl & Co everyday skirt. Now the next pattern I'm going to talk about is a jersey pattern, and a lot of people say, oh, I don't want to sew with jersey, I'm really nervous about sewing with jersey, is it scary? A lot of people don't start sewing with jersey until they've been sewing for quite a long time. And actually there are pros and cons. Yes, there are things that you need to do differently, so you need to make sure you're using a jersey or a ballpoint needle. You need to make sure that you've switched to the my words have gone completely. You need to make sure that you have switched to a stretch stitch on your machine. I can't talk today, guys. Stretch stitch on your machine, and you need to make sure that you're using the right quality thread, because jersey can be a bit finicky if you're using cheaper, fluffier threads. But that said, you don't have to fit it as much as you do with a woven garment, because jersey moulds and stretches to your body, and if you use a pattern like the one I'm about to recommend, it is so simple, it is almost impossible to go wrong. So the pattern that I am recommending is another Tilly and the Buttons pattern, and that is because, again, her instructions are so good. She talks you through how to sew with jersey on a normal sewing machine, so you don't need an overlocker. You can start sewing with jersey straight away, and she talks you through the sort of tips and tricks of how to get the best out of sewing with stretch fabrics on your machine. And this is the Coco pattern. I also really like this pattern because it's got a couple of different variations. So you've got two tunic or dress length options, you've got a funnel neck collar option, which is great for the winter. I'll pop a picture up if I can find it. I've made a funnel neck version of this, and I'll also link to a review I did of the pattern on the vlog a little while ago. Again, I'll either pop it up here or I'll pop it in the comments down below. Or there is a top version. You can also do a split hem at the bottom. You can add patch pockets. So for a really simple pattern, there's actually loads of things that you can do with it. She's got a great tutorial on her blog, on Tilly's blog, about how to colour block it. So you can do you know, one colour on the top, and then you could have stripes or another colour for a really kind of retro vibe. And the sort of classic Breton stripe, you cannot go wrong with a classic Breton stripe tunic or top. So really, really recommend this. For the Coco pattern, you want to be working with a medium weight jersey. So you either want a Ponte Roma or a double knit jersey. We teach the Coco class quite regularly at the studio, and one of the most common things is people will arrive with really light t-shirting weight jersey. If you think about when you're making a dress, and some of us have lumps and bumps, some of us have more than others, and you don't really want to make a dress out of the same type of fabric or same weight as fabric that you would do for a t-shirt, because it's not going to cover very nicely, it's not going to skim very nicely. Often we've got more stretch than you need, so look for something that is a stable medium weight jersey like a Ponte Roma or a double knit. Now we have put some kits together with a gorgeous fabric. Sorry for the rustling. This is a really lovely coral stripe ponte, and it is a viscose ponte, and it is a really nice medium weight, so it's not too heavy, so it's perfect for the summer because it's got viscose in there. It's got a nice drape to it, and it's not too hot for the summer either, and it is a lovely coral colour. I'm not sure, let me just see if I can get the camera to focus in. There you go. And it's a textured stripe as well, so it's really nice and interesting, and there's not actually loads of stretch in it, and that's what you want to look out for. So if you're not using this fabric, just apply the same rules, that kind of weight. In the winter you could obviously go for an even heavier jersey ponte, but in the summer you want something that is about this weight. You wouldn't want much lighter, but again you wouldn't want anything too heavy because you wouldn't want to get too hot. And these colours are so nice. In fact, they would look lovely with my earrings, and I think this is a really nice way to add the Coco into your wardrobe in summertime, because I know a lot of people struggle with finding nice pontes that are good for summer wear. So yeah, this one, I cannot wait to see lots of these made up because I really love it. In fact, if I had time, I'd be adding this to my to make list. The final pattern that I'm going to recommend is going back to another woven pattern, and this is the Sew Over It Ultimate Shift Dress. I will pop a picture or two of it up here. This dress is so simple, so easy to sew, so easy to make, but it looks really effective. It has no zips or fastenings. It's just got a nice rouleau loop at the top. I don't know if you can see the line drawings there. There are a couple of different versions in the pattern as well. So there's the dress, and there's obviously long sleeve, 3/4 length sleeve, and then there's this really cute ruffle sleeve option, which is perfect for the summer. You can also make it as a tunic length or a top length. And it's just a really nice throw over your head, easy to wear dress. And the great thing about it is it's got bust darts, so you get to practice sewing darts, and the instructions talk you through how to do that. And it has a facing, a neck facing around the neckline, so it talks you through how to do a facing as well. So there are enough details there to keep it interesting, but it is really, really simple. And because of the simple shape, it's really, really lovely to show off beautiful fabric prints, and it's also a really good pattern to kind of step up if you're moving away from or you're wanting to step up your sewing a little bit. You could use a more drapey fabric. So if you were a complete beginner, I would say make this out of a cotton lawn, because that is the easiest fabric to sew with, that still has a nice weight and drape for dressmaking. Or we've put some kits together with some viscose, so if you fancy making something with a little bit more drape and having a practice sewing with a more drapey fabric, then that pattern is perfect because it's nice and simple, so you can concentrate on working with the lovely fabric. And this is the fabric we've chosen for the kit. So this is the Elderflower Breeze viscose. We had this in a little while ago and it was super popular. We had it in scarlet and navy, and we've got the navy back in, so this will be going into the kits. It's got a really nice texture to it, so it's a textured viscose, almost like a viscose crepe, and because of that it does mean it isn't quite as slippery as some of our other viscoses, and obviously in the kit you get your interfacing and your matching thread and your needles, etc. But that is a really, really lovely pattern to make up, and again you could make it up the same pattern in 5 different fabrics and they would all look beautiful and all be really, really wearable. So that one gets a big thumbs up from me. So those are the top 5 patterns that I would recommend. I would recommend taking it slowly. Start in the kind of order that I have mentioned, because I have tried to do it from the really simple all the way through. Each of the patterns, although simple, has enough interesting details to stop you from getting bored. So like the top stitching with the Cleo dungarees, the bias binding with the Scout, the nice elastic waistband and the gathering on the everyday skirt, obviously sewing with jersey for Coco, and then the darts and the facings etc. on the sew over it shift dress. So hopefully those patterns will be enough to set you up on your dressmaking journey, and you'll be hooked and loving sewing. And if you've got any questions, as always, drop us a comment down below, pop us over an email, or you can find us on social media at Sewsfaction. All the links are down below. We've got a busy week as ever this week, so we've got our summer sale on at the moment. So if you haven't seen already, we've got some lovely bits in our sales section on the website, so that's keeping us on our toes. We have got lots of planning coming up for our first show, which is at the end of this month at Thread in Farnham in Surrey. I'll pop the link for that down below as well, because if you're local, please come along and see us. It'd be lovely to meet you. And then of course in July, so in 5 weeks, less than 5 weeks, we've got the big summer stitch up, and I'll pop the logo up for that up here so that you recognise it. We have had so many people register, close to 200 people have already registered, which is amazing. We've got loads going on the day, and I'm going to update the blog post, which I will link down below, just with more info on what's happening on the day, and the link is already there for how you can register for tickets. So if you are around, please do come and see us, because it would be wonderful to meet you. Obviously you'll be able to see the shop and the studio and some of the things that are going on throughout the day. There's going to be loads of things happening. It's barbecue and a Pim's bar and a pattern and fabric swap, and loads of opportunity to chat sewing with everybody, as well as some really cool demos, and yeah, lots of other exciting things, which I probably shouldn't talk about too much yet until I've put the blog post up. But yeah, another busy week here. So I hope you're all really well. If you've liked the video, please don't forget to give us a thumbs up and hit the subscribe button. I really love seeing all of your comments and your messages, and it really makes me smile when you guys subscribe. So I'd really love it if you would be a part of Team Sewsfaction and join our channel. But the details for that are down below too. Anyway, have a good week guys, and I will see you again next week. Bye!